Hey, what's up everyone? I just checked out Venom, Let There Be Carnage, the newest superhero movie in theaters, so let's review it. So right before we jump in, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your thoughts of the movie down below in the comment section. I'm curious to hear what people think of this movie. It's definitely a more bizarre movie, and this is also going to be a spoiler-free video, so I'm not going to spoil anything from the movie. So if you haven't seen it, you're free to watch this video, and without further ado, let's jump right in. So this movie is obviously the sequel to the original Venom from 2018, which I wasn't a huge fan of. I actually have only seen it once since I watched it originally in the theaters back in 2018, and I didn't really enjoy it that much. That's why I haven't rewatched it. So my excitement for this movie really was not high at all. I did not like the trailers. I did not like what we were seeing of this movie. Then here it's 90 minutes. So I was really just not looking forward to this movie. It looked like it was going for like a Godzilla versus Kong route, which I also didn't enjoy that movie either. Like just very kind of fan service and not much plot center, not much value to be found aside from, two superheroes fighting each other. And having now seen this movie, it was pretty much exactly what I thought it was going to be. It's like a super crazy superhero movie, obviously with Venom being a very bizarre hero in the movie, and obviously you have Carnage in there and they go head to head. It's very crazy. There's a lot of bizarre moments in the film, a lot of like bizarre humor, and it's centered around a fairly simple plot. The plot itself isn't too complex, and it's really just a movie that serves to give you Venom versus Carnage. It doesn't really feel like a true Venom sequel. And overall, I just thought this movie was very decent. I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. It's not like one of the worst superhero movies ever. And it's not a superhero movie that's going to like blow anyone away and be anyone's favorite movie. It was just a very... if you wanted to see Venom versus Carnage, you got that. That happened in the movie. It was very fun to watch. But other than that, there just wasn't a ton of value to the movie. My favorite part of this movie would have been Woody Harrelson as Carnage, particularly when he's the human guy. I can't quite remember what his human name is, but he's like a serial killer and he's in prison. I thought there was a lot of cool moments with him, and Woody Harrelson's just like meant to play that kind of character. He's very good at that kind of stuff, and I just think this was a really good role for him. He definitely worked in this movie. And I really enjoyed him. Every time he was on screen, for me, he worked. I really liked his backstory, his development, his like relationship he had in the movie. For me, that stuff worked, and that was the strength of the movie when it comes to a more kind of deeper side of the film. And that goes into my kind of first issue, is this movie really didn't go for like emotion. It really just kind of wanted to give us this fight, and it was very kind of like cheesy and very much like just went all in on kind of being this movie centered around Venom and Carnage, rather than actually giving you a more deeper movie with more deeper emotion. And that was definitely an issue. There was moments where it feels like it's going to go for a more emotional route and a more deeper route, but then it doesn't. There's glimpses of that, but for the most part, this movie is very straightforward in how it goes about it. The action in this movie is also really good. Obviously, it's a superhero movie. The action's always going to be good. It's all CGI, which, kind of sucks, but, it's a Venom movie, so it has to be CGI. But I thought the action was pretty good. It was very enjoyable. There's not a ton of action in the movie. I will get into that in my negatives, but when we do get action, it is pretty good and very entertaining to watch. Carnage is really cool in the movie, and he is in the movie, and he looks good, and the CGI is also really good in this movie. And the action, it was what I wanted. The fights and the Venom and Carnage fighting and them throwing stuff and, killing people. That was enjoyable, and I enjoyed seeing that kind of stuff on screen. And you signed up for the action for this movie. That was obviously the main reason people wanted to go see this movie, and that definitely worked for me. The overall plot of this movie could have been better, but it was just fine. It didn't it wasn't not good. It just was very simple. I don't want to really spoil anything later in the movie because it kind of happens at a slow pace. But like pretty much it just sets up Carnage and Venom fighting. It's just a very simple premise, which didn't entirely bug me. It's only a 90-minute movie. But still, I wish it would have been a little more complex. For a superhero movie this day and age where we get like 10 superhero movies a year, I wish this movie would have been a little more complex in terms of the plot. But that also goes into the fact that this movie knew exactly what it wanted to be. It knew it was going to be just kind of goofy, kind of bizarre, kind of out of left field superhero movie with Venom and Carnage. It knew that going in, and it fully embraced that. And nods off to Andy Serkis and the rest of the team for doing that, because I think that was the best route they could have taken for this movie, because the first Venom movie clearly went for a more serious route, and that did not work. I do think this movie was better than the original Venom, so I really think it was a good strategy here. There was aspects of this film that could have been better. And then my last positive of this movie is going to be that it was just really entertaining and easy to watch. You go into the theaters, knowing what you're gonna get. And honestly, it was just a very, like, it's like I said, it's 90 minutes, which is super short for a superhero movie. Usually they're around 2 hours, but it was just exactly what I thought it was gonna be, and it was very easy to watch, and very entertaining. Wasn't bored during the movie. I wasn't like waiting for it to end while I was watching it. And like I said, it was also better than the first one. Heading into the more negative stuff on the film, I don't have a ton to say about the negative. Just like, this movie wasn't great. It was just kind of mediocre. The movie really has no reason to exist. They didn't do a good job of convincing me that this is a movie we should be getting, rather than just, hey, here's Venom versus Carnage. That's what this movie's premise is going to be, and here you go. I wish there would have done more to kind of set up this being the next chapter in Venom and Eddie Brock's character, and kind of set up as a sequel to the original, where this movie kind of just feels like, the original kind of sucked, but you don't really want a sequel, but we'll just give you the sequel, Venom versus Carnage, because that's going to bring in a lot of money, that kind of stuff. I really wish there was more of a reason that this movie was happening, and there was more setup for future movies in the process. And that will go into my next point. I'm really just not sold as Venom being a hero in this kind of Sony Spider-Verse, whatever they're doing. I honestly just don't think it works. Through 2 movies, I do not want a third Venom movie. I have no interest in them making another one with Tom Hardy. I'm really not sold on Venom being a hero and being the lead hero in this kind of Sony Spider-Verse. And that's definitely an issue for me, and I really wish this movie would have embraced his character more and really gone more forward with developing him more. And there is a good amount of development in here, but most of it is just between like him and Venom, and there's really not a lot of world building with kind of Venom being this superhero in the real world. So it's fairly simple, and I wish there was a little more to it. My last issue is going to be that there's limited action in this movie. Obviously, we all signed up for the action sequences, but there's not a ton of them in here. The first half of the movie is pretty light on the action, so that was kind of unfortunate, but that's not a huge issue. There were still some redeeming action moments in the movie. And overall, I did enjoy Venom Let There Be Carnage. I just thought it did have some issues that held it back. I wish this movie went for it more. I wish there was more to it. I definitely think it could have been longer. The plot was a little rushed at times. And I really wish they kind of embraced Venom more and kind of developed his character more and just spent more time on world building and building up Venom as a character. Then we can get the Carnage stuff towards the end of the movie. I just wish it was a little longer, more development, more stuff like that. That really would have elevated this movie to a much higher standard for me, because I really did enjoy parts of it. I liked a lot of the ideas here. I'm just I'm not crazy about Venom being a hero in the Spider-Verse or whatever. But like I said, there was enjoyable moments like the action and stuff like that. So I'm going to be giving Venom Let There Be Carnage 2.5 out of 5 and a 54%. Like I said, a very middle ground movie right between 1 and 5 stars. It's, right in the middle. So I did enjoy it. There was a lot to enjoy here. It's definitely, if you're interested in seeing it, there's definitely value here. I think it was worth watching, even if it's only 90 minutes. If you don't like comic book movies and superhero movies, I wouldn't go see it. I think this will probably be your least favorite movie ever if you don't like comic book movies, because it really just embraces that genre. But anyways, that's going to do it for my review for Venom Let There Be Carnage. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like and subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Tell me your thoughts on Venom Let There Be Carnage. And as always, thank you so much for watching if you stuck around to the end of the video, and have a great day.